Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question. And we're going to get a little bit more in depth we did than the last video. And that was her question was, her narcissistic and psychopathic family has recently ousted her. They have outed her. They have cut her away from the pack. She's no longer part of the inner gang. She's no longer part of the inner circle. Maybe, I'm not sure if she's not being called, texted, invited for holidays. I'm not sure what it is or why it is, but this is extremely heartbreaking for her, and she wants to know what to do. And I'm going to go ahead and address that for you here. And thank you so much for your inquiry, your question, and thank you so much to all the viewers. Much love to you. You know, thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing and trying to sort this out and figure out some healing tools and modalities to get you to the other side and get you empowered, because that is the goal of the channel 100%. So thank you so much for your viewership. Love you. And thank you so much for your inquiry. So when we look at what to do, it's the other question, it also lends itself as, what do I feel? It's not only what do I do, but how do I feel? And in the previous video, you know, I suggested, you know, you might want to actually jump up for joy. You might almost want to say, oh my God, this is a blessing in disguise. This is a godsend. This is a whirlwind. This is what my life is calling me for right now. This is my amen. This is where I begin my prayer space. This is where I begin my healing space. This is where I get to know life at large. And to really realize that your family goes beyond just your immediate family. And if your family, excuse me, if your family is narcissistic, if they are psychopathic, if they are redundantly selfish, if they are chronically abusive, negligent, critical, neglectful in terms of listening to you, being there for you, being interested in you, caring about you, living in the truth, and, you know, really addressing you as the person you deserve to be, are these people who you really want, family or not, mother or not, husband or not, children or not, are these the people that you really want around you? In other words, these people are destructive forces to you. Are they not? Yes or no? This can be a very clear-cut question. They're a little bit destructive. They're a little bit negative. They bring me down most of the time. I mean, these are questions you need to, in the space of this video, where you can be between me, yourself, and God right now. Ask yourself, are these people constructive or destructive to me in my life right now? And if you are saying they are destructive and you don't want to hear the answer, then that is going to be where the buck stops with you. You need to be the one to hear the answer. You need to be the one to answer the question. You need to be the one to reveal yourself to yourself. You need to be able to open the door to that answer and being able to accept it. And then in the accepting, then you begin to be where you are. And where you are is where you need to be. And that is where life at large, in infinite intelligent, needs you and wants you to be. So where you are is in a good space. As soon as you can answer that question and answer it unequivocally, these people, this person is destructive. I mean, by and large, percentage-wise, these people are not good for me. Even though it would be good if they were nice for me, it would be great if they were good for me, it would be great if I were just like them. Well, that would make things a lot easier if I could just continue to live a lie or live as they do narcissistically or psychopathically. But that is not the fabric with which I am made. That is not the ilk or the cloth from which I am cut. That is not the perspective, the value set, the values and the beliefs that I choose and am inherently designed to live by. I mean, you can try to, cut down a tree with a fork, but you are going to be set up for a lifelong struggle. You can sit there all day and hacking away at the tree with a fork, but you are not going to get very far. You can scratch, claw, and try to push it even harder, but eventually you are going to wear yourself out and you're going to die from exhaustion, unhappy, and you're using, you're trying the wrong effort. In the Buddhist text, you're not walking, there's a right understanding or right wisdom, you're not in the right place for you. Even though life had brought you there, even though life had put you there, life had wanted you there, or whatever it is, and then you have maybe, your standard for struggle has been such to the point that it has kept you there too long, to the point where, you are now, with people who are trying to cut you away. Do not feel bad when you have to let go of destructive, damaging, narcissistic, psychopathic individuals. It can be overwhelming and more than you can bear. And yes, it is heartbreaking, but, acknowledge and accept the truth you must. And even if I don't want to see that can't happen to me. This is really weird. This is really scary. I mean, these might be your reactions. Why is this happening to me? This is so odd. Who do I turn to now? I feel so alone. I feel so isolated. Those, you can acknowledge and accept those feelings, but you might too want to use cognitive reframing and some reality testing and say, this is the truth. This is a fact. This is where it's at right now for me. And I love where I'm at. I've got myself from here. Here, hey, you, come with me, says me to the self. And you begin to develop a lot more healthy self-talk, which means you have you now. And you use the tool of cognitive reframing to say, okay, maybe I'm not so alone. Maybe I am independent now. Maybe I am liberated now. Maybe I am free now to conduct my life in the manner with which I see fit and with which gives me self-respect. And upon giving myself respect, others will in turn pick up on that and then give me respect also. And then I will be able to build a life of credibility, of truth, of humility, of integrity, and of peace, of harmony, where love can flourish and exist. So now I'm changing the inner culture with which I am living myself, and then furthermore surrounding myself. So when you say ousted, and I know it's heartbreaking, but sometimes be on your own, you must. And if it means spending a holiday alone, a Christmas alone, a birthday alone, this might be sad, a day alone, an hour alone, a week alone. This is time for you to get to square one and rebuild. Life has had all sorts of very painful things, very painful attacks. Cities have been under siege. People's homes have been under siege. People have lost everything. Companies have lost everything. They've had to begin again. So maybe it's time just to light a candle and be in the presence of that candle and that light. And gaze upon that candle and feel the softness, feel the warmth, feel the glow, feel the acceptance, feel the truth, and feel the love. That is what you need to now feel within you and begin to feel again that presence of that solitary divinity with which can now make its presence known to you. Make your own more healthy presence known to you. If it means walking the walk of salvation, making the pilgrimage, which really is that which draws you to a sacred place. When we talk about pilgrims and we talk about Thanksgiving, we're talking about the country of the United States of America being founded on those people who were on a pilgrimage for freedom, freedom of religion, etc. We're not going to go into pedantics, but that is what a pilgrim makes. It's someone who is seeking, better, that which is sacred within life, within themselves. They're on a holy pilgrimage. So call forth the holy you must, and even don't try to then focus on just recovering your family right now, because if you are cut off and you really are in that space, it's time to begin with you. And like the old song says, if there is going to be peace, let it begin with me. So it's time to allow that feeling of peace to come within yourself, and maybe say, I am here for a reason, and I'm going to deal with it now. And then furthermore, learn to really comfort and take care of yourself in this place. Begin to develop a relationship with yourself, whether it's studying, learning, getting a place for yourself, moving, creating new relationships, volunteering at a church, getting a spiritual or support network, getting into Codependence Anonymous, learning what codependence really means, reading Codependent No More by Melody Beatty, looking at the book Women Who Do Too Much, looking at some of that content and seeing what applies to you, going on a true healing journey, beginning to volunteer. There's all sorts of people who have it worse than you. People who have never known a family, people who have never been married, people who have never had children, people who are homeless, who do not have a home, who do not know where their next meal is coming from. I mean, your situation is not that bad. Begin to then volunteer and surround yourself with people and organizations that are maybe nonprofit and heart-centered, religion-centered, spiritually centered, and begin to find a spiritual center, a spiritual group where maybe it's no cost. You can learn to be in prayer groups, Bible study groups, whatever your religion, study groups. Begin to develop a rigorous spiritual practice, rigorous honesty, exercise, eating right, changing things up, and changing who you surround yourself with. Even if it's a different ilk of people, then that is what life is calling you forward, and really learning to repair and heal yourself from that. And as you do that on a consistent daily, weekly, monthly basis, the strides you make will be enormous. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.